Hey, what's up, guys? It's Higgins in Japan, and coming to you from my vehicular. And a couple people had asked me, since I am driving in Japan, they'd asked me about the process of getting my driver's license and comparing that to, say, getting your driver's license in America. Because since I am American, I can kind of speak to that. But, so the process in getting your license in Japan is actually pretty complicated, because you have to have a lot of information from America. You have to have a lot of information from Japan as well. Some of the things you have to have, it's a paper called a Juminhyo, which is your proof of residency. It's something really simple and easy that you can pick up. You have to go to your, like the town hall, basically, to get a copy of your Juminhyo. It's about $2 American, so it's something that's pretty easy to pick up. And I'm past this guy on a bicycle here. It's pretty easy to pick up, pretty easy to get, so that's not the hard part. You also have to have some sort of driver's license in America or the country that you're coming from, which is not a problem if you already have that, obviously. Whoa, my camera mount decided it was going to switch positions. Anyways, so yeah. So you have to have that driver's license, Juminhyo. You also have to have, they wanted proof of driving experience. And I know what you're saying, what? Like, in America, we don't have such a thing. Well, you kind of do, actually. So I went online, since I'm from Pennsylvania, I went to the Pennsylvania State website and was actually able to print out a physical papered copy of my driving experience. Basically, it was just a paper that had if I'd ever had any driving accidents, or if I'd ever had any speeding tickets or anything like that. So just your basic history that they wanted. So again, that was maybe $10. So that was pretty easy to get. I just had to print that off. The difficult things are you have to actually get all of that stuff then translated into Japanese. There is a special place. It's essentially AAA, if you're familiar with AAA. So basically you go there, it's the Japanese version of that. They take all your information and they translate it into Japanese. That costs 3,000 yen, so that's about $30. Which, whatever, it's something you have to get. So you take all that information then, and you make your appointment for the driving test. So the driving test takes probably about 10 minutes to do, but it's an all-day ordeal. You're at the driver's license center all day. You get there at around 9 o'clock in the morning, and at that point, once you get there, you turn in all your information, your passport, your driver's license, all your translated information, everything that you have. You turn that into them, and they check that and go over it and make sure that it is, everything that they need. If it is, good, great, and you sit and you wait. So you sit and you wait for maybe another hour or two, at which point then they give you your written test, which is 10 questions, really simple questions, basic rules of the road. Is it ever okay to stop in a crosswalk? No. Simple stuff like that. So that part was pretty easy. At which point you then proceed to wait again for another couple of hours. All the time while you're waiting, though, is the most important time, actually, is when you should be studying the course. There is a map of the course. They'll tell you, usually there's 3 different courses, but they will tell you which course you'll be driving on to take your test. But study the course. There's a big map that, you know, shows you the course and where you're supposed to drive. The other really cool thing, and I highly suggest this if you're going to take your driver's test in Japan, try to get your license, is you walk the course. You're allowed to walk around the track. You know, look at where stop signs are, look at where traffic lights are. The course that I drove had a hill. If you don't know, when you're on a hill, you're supposed to honk your horn. There's a sign for that. So, like, things that you know, need to familiarize yourself with. So I walked the course 2 times. Walked around it. I knew where certain signs were, you know, slow down, speed up, you know, don't go over a certain speed limit, that sort of stuff. And then you take your test. So you jump in the car, but if you do that, you've already failed. So you walk around the car, check under the car, make sure the tires are okay, general, like, just quick inspection of the car. You get in the car, fasten your seatbelt, check your mirrors, adjust your seat, do all that stuff, and you wait until the instructor gives you the okay to turn on or start up the car. At which point you start up the car, you go onto the course. He or she will tell you, you know, which lanes to get into, or like if you need to turn at a certain spot, or you know, certain things like that. It's, you know, pretty straightforward and simple in that respect. And then if you pass, you're done. You know, you get your, they administer, that was a weird word to say, administer an eye test, which basically you look at different circles and you have to decide which direction, like, the little arrow inside is pointing. And then they do red, green, and yellow to make sure you can see red, green, and yellow. And then they take your picture and they print out your license, and you're done. But normally that takes all day to get done. So for me, it was a little bit quicker because I had an issue with my visa, that they looked at it and had a problem with it, so I had to come back the next day. But, you know, assuming that all your paperwork's in order, that shouldn't ever happen. But yeah, it was pretty easy. I passed the first time, which I didn't do in America, so I don't know what that says, but yeah, and then as for driving in Japan, it's not difficult, really. I mean, I would say the most challenging thing about driving in Japan are the small roads that you can sometimes come across. And by sometimes, I mean the ones that I drive on pretty much every day to get to one of my schools. Yeah, you're driving through rice fields sometimes, depending on where you live, or, you know, side streets that only accommodate one car, but they're two-car, you know, roads. So, yeah, that's stuff that I would be careful about, you know, driving, watch out for small roads. But yeah, I mean, you're driving on the left-hand side of the road, you get used to it. You're driving in the right side of the car, you get used to that too. But, yeah, so this video has gone on way too long, but I figured I would make a longer video, since I haven't actually done one of these Higgins in Japan videos in a while, just to let you guys know that I'm still around, still making videos. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have other questions about living in Japan, if you have comments, please leave them below. Click the like button if you like this video. If you don't like it, that's cool too. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can get all these great and wonderful videos. And also, if you click on the link in the description, it goes to my Facebook page, which you can subscribe to as well, and you can check out other stuff that I post. Sometimes I post pictures, sometimes I post news stories, things that are happening in Japan. You never know. Alright, catch you guys later. Peace.